Hello everybody, welcome to another edition of Sector 5. I'm your host as always, Gary the Hangman Heinzman. SmackDown has ended about an hour ago by now at this point, but a few complications came about. But still, this is the last SmackDown before Summerslam. So I am here to give my SummerSlam predictions. Somewhat of a new format with the brand split. It's still going to be non-title matches into title matches, but it's going to be Raw or SmackDown non-title matches talked about respectively. So Raw Superstars talked about first, then SmackDown Superstars. Or vice versa. And then the title matches will be follow the same format. If I talked about SmackDown first, we'll talk about the SmackDown titles first, then the Raw titles. So, and there's more to talk about. We'll talk about that towards the end. So let's go ahead and get started with these predictions for SummerSlam. Let's start off with a big match. We're going to talk about John Cena versus AJ Styles. Supposedly, no involvement with the club. Not buying it. I honestly think AJ Styles is going to get help from the club still. Yes, we've had the brand split and everything. Yes, they're on different brands. But, as you'll hear me talk about later, the club is there. It's not as if the club is not scheduled for a match and not there. So, I think AJ Styles will once again pick up a cheat win over John Cena. Next up, we have Becky Lynch, Camella, and Naomi tagging up to face the team of Natalya, Alexa Bliss, and Eva Marie. And I'm giving it to Becky Lynch, Camella, and Naomi because of all of the things that's been going on with the debut of Eva Marie. They've been putting a big show of this and everything. So I see Becky Lynch, Camilla, and Naomi winning, and maybe Natalya turning on Alexa Bliss in them, because she's basically trying to be her own diva / woman, but she keeps getting put into these tag team matches and that. Next up, that's the end of the SmackDown. We're going to go into Raw now. We have Enzo, Amore, and Big Cass versus Jericho and Kevin Owens, a.k.a. Jericho. And I'm definitely giving it to Enzo, Amore, and Big Cass. Jericho's been in so many tag teams over the years that, yes, he is good with tag teams, but just look at what him and AJ Styles, Y2AJ, that didn't last long. Jericho is not going to last long either. Enzo Amore and Big Cass is going to beat him, and Chris Jericho and Kevin Owens are most likely going to go at it. There's that. Next up, we have Cesaro versus Sheamus, the first part of a best of 7 series. So basically, they're going to have 7 matches against each other, but the first best of is at SummerSlam. And I'm going to give it to Sheamus. I think Sheamus is going to get the first win, and then we'll just have to see from there. And I'm expecting that these best of 7 aren't just going to be 7 one-on-one matches. I expect there to be Hell in a Cell matches thrown in there. Steel cage match, Extreme Rules, no disqualification, submission, different things thrown in. So there's that. And the last one is a mixed brand match. It is Brock Lesnar versus Randy Orton. The Beast versus the Viper. And I would love to just kind of sit here and talk about how Randy Orton might have a chance, but let's just face it, at this point Brock Lesnar wins every match that he's in. One-on-one wise. Not like triple threat and that. One-on-one, Brock Lesnar wins wins all. So I'm going to say it's a no-brainer. Brock Lesnar wins. If Orton somehow picks up the win, I'll be surprised. So that's it for the non-title matches. So let's go into title matches. We started with SmackDown matches, so we're going to start with the SmackDown titles. Miz versus Apollo Crews for the Intercontinental Championship, and I honestly think Apollo Crews is going to take it. Originally, I kind of thought that Apollo Crews really hasn't proved himself too much, but sitting back and looking at it, yes, Apollo Crews has showed up. I think he's going to take the Intercontinental Championship from The Miz. Next up, we have the WWE Champion, WWE World Heavyweight Championship. I guess it's still called that, because it's something we'll talk about later. Most of you probably know already. Either way, we'll talk about it here in a little bit. Dean Ambrose versus Dolph Ziggler for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, and I really don't think Ambrose is going to lose it. They're really trying to hype up Ziggler, and it's well deserved and everything, but I don't think we're going to see Ziggler win the title. Next up, that's it for SmackDown matches, SmackDown titles, which is another thing we'll talk about a little bit. So we're going into the Raw titles. Starting off the Raw titles, we got the Unified WWE Tag Team Championship. New Day versus The Club. New Day minus Big E, which is why I am giving it to The Club. I honestly think The Club is going to take it, and soon enough we're going to see the end of New Day. I know I say it every time I do a prediction, every time I do anything, prediction/review. I want to see the end of New Day sometime. I want Kofi Kingston back. This Kofi Boom Squad. I want this Kofi back. And with Big E gone, I can see it happening. I don't want to continue on this tangent about New Day and that, but I could see once Big E is well and comes back, because I think this might be I don't know how long he's going to be gone. If it's a long time that he's gone, like even 2 months, I can see Big E coming out, and if New Day isn't already broken up at that point, coming out acting as if he's part of New Day, and then turning. So I feel New Day is on borrowed time. The end of the longest reigning tag team championship ends at SummerSlam, and The Club take the titles. Next up, we have Sasha Banks versus Charlotte for the Divas Championship. Women's Championship. And I don't think Sasha Banks is going to lose it yet. I don't see why. So, there's that. Next up, we have Rusev versus Roman Reigns for the United States Championship. Woo. I honestly think that Roman Reigns is going to take it. I think Reigns is going to become our new United States Champion. And it surprises me that he's getting the opportunity at it, to be honest. But he is, and I think he's going to take it. Which leads us to the last match that we're talking about. The new title that's coming around. We have Seth Rollins versus Finn Balor. Winner becomes the first ever WWE Universal Champion. The background with this match. We had 2 Fatal 4-Way matches. At this point, I do not remember all the competitors in the Fatal 4-Way, the 2 different Fatal 4-Way matches. I can think of competitors off the top of my head. Roman Reigns, Sheamus, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Finn Balor, and I don't know the other 3. I honestly don't remember. We had 2 Fatal 4-Way matches. There was that. Jericho was one of them as well. I remember that much. Cesaro was another one. So I'm just missing one. I don't remember who that other one was. But either way, that's been a long time ago. That's in the past. Let's talk about what we're talking about now. The backstory, I guess, which is why I'm going on this tangent. Anywho, we had Finn Balor win his Fatal 4-Way match. Whoever he faced. I don't remember the 3 competitors he was with, but whoever he faced, I believe he had the Sheamus, Sami Zayn, him, and one other person, the one I can't think of. And then the other one was the other 4 competitors. Anywho, Finn Balor won his Fatal 4-Way match. And in the Fatal 4-Way match later that Roman Reigns was in, he won. They faced off later on that night. Winner of that got to face Seth Rollins at WWE Universal. Why did I find it important to go into that backstory? Is mainly because of the fact that Seth Rollins just got the, hey, you're in it. Which is a lot of why I'm basing this on Seth Rollins is just going to win the title. They're giving him this title. He's facing Finn Balor. He's facing the Demon King. But in the end, Seth Rollins is going to win. And he's going to be out there being like, listing his accolades. I was the first NXT champion. I was the first WWE World Heavyweight Champion / United States champion. I was the architect of the Shield. I'm now the first WWE Universal Champion. I was the first person to cash in Money in the Bank at WrestleMania. I'm not ending the video here, but that's just how it is. Rollins is going to be the first WWE Universal Champion. Which is okay. Whatever. So, there's other things I said I was going to talk about. A few other things I want to talk about. That was all my predictions for SummerSlam. And now let's add the tagline towards the end here. The reason I started this video off the way I did is because with the brand extension comes SmackDown and Raw pay-per-views. Why did I show you these? Because these are the notebooks that I will be using to broadcast when I do my predictions. Whenever a SmackDown one, that's a Raw. A SmackDown one or a Raw pay-per-view happen. So, the next pay-per-view predictions that will be coming out will be the Backlash predictions. I know you can't read it, but I've got it wrote down here on the top. Backlash. That will be the next one that we talk about. And then later on, Raw has theirs, Clash of Champions. So, we got the SmackDown notebook, we've got the Raw notebook, and then we got Old Faithful here that will be bringing you all the SmackDown and Raw pay-per-views. Which the next one of those should be Survivor Series. So there's a lot of things coming up now. And which is another thing that I need to talk about with titles. They have made it aware, they've made it known, that SmackDown, which is the one that only has the Intercontinental and WWE World Heavyweight Championship, are going to get a Women's / Divas title and a tag team championship. So, soon enough they will have their tag team and their women's championship, and they will be more developed. And we'll be talking about probably a lot more title matches come the mixed pay-per-views, which is going to be fun. So, there's that. Just wanted to bring that up. So, the next video you will get is SummerSlam's review. And the next pay-per-view predictions will be SmackDown's Backlash. Then the next video after that will be Backlash review. Then Clash Champions predictions / review. That's all for everything I want to talk about with SummerSlam and predictions coming up. I will put a link in the description talking about the schedule coming up. And some more or less updates, I guess, in the description below. So, as always, I'm Cody the Hangman Huntsman. I hope y'all enjoyed, and that's just how it is.